we're going to talk about the 2024 Toyota Tacoma. This truck's been out for almost a year now, and we're going to talk about the pros and cons. We have enough data on this truck to really know what the pros are and what the cons are against this truck. And there's quite a few things that, are not good for off-roading, and there's a few things that are, a little bit better for off-roading. So let's get started on this. So I'm going to start with a con, and in my opinion, it's a pretty big con, and that is that the Tacoma is wider now. And what I mean by wider is the wheelbase from left wheel to right wheel is wider, but it's not wider with a benefit for off-roading. So you, in the old Tacoma, you could buy a extended lower control arm and upper control arms, and you can get more travel, and you could get better off-road capability from this. Well, the new Tacoma, they went wider by just extending the frame area itself. The lower and upper control arms are not longer, so you're not getting longer travel. You're just getting a wider stance. And for off-roading, this isn't a great thing. It's not going to hurt the truck that bad, but it's not great. It really means that you can't really go wider. Put longer lower control arms and upper control arms, because then this truck is going to be as wide as a Toyota Tundra, and we don't want to be driving a Toyota Tundra down the trails, these tight trails. That's why you bought a Tacoma. So I think this is a pretty bad thing that they did for the Tacoma this year, and time will tell if it's going to be okay or not, but at least there's a plus. And that is that the CV angles, they didn't change those. So they still have great CV angles for, and that's the axles on the front end of the Toyota Tacoma. That's a good thing, because that means you can still put nice kits to raise the suspension higher to get better ground clearance. And you're not going to put these axles at a hard angle. So that's a big benefit. But like I said, the wheelbase, I'm not a fan of that. So a plus, let's get to a positive thing. A plus is the breakover angles. The rear, you see how the truck bed has like a cutout on the bed? I think this is neat for the aftermarket world, because of that cutout, they can put custom bumper pieces in there that will give you a nice breakover angle. So I think this is really a great idea for doing that on the bed, because there's no point in that part of the bed anyway. So why not make it better? So we're gonna get to a bad thing. Wheelbase. Wheelbase has extended this much, and I get it. They're a mid-sized truck. They're trying to make them more capable. It's just not good for the off-road community. And the Tacoma, has been known for that shorter wheelbase. The Gladiator has a really long wheelbase, and Tacoma's been kind of holding on to that market for the shorter wheelbase. Now, chances are pretty good they extended the wheelbase length so that they can tow and have more capability for towing. It's not about the numbers, it's about actually being able to tow something, with a better ride, the real world experience. So I think that's why they did it, but it's not going to help the off-road of this Toyota Tacoma. Big plus for this year is the Trail Hunter. So if you want to buy a truck that is completely ready to go off-roading, it has 33-inch tires, which isn't bad. It can get through a lot of hard trails. It has skid plates galore underneath it. It's just very well designed for off-roading. Then the Trail Hunter is the way to go. But the Trail Hunter also leads me into a negative, and that is the prices of the new Tacomas. They have gone up drastically. So that's the negative on this part too, is the increase in prices. For example, my Toyota Tacoma Off-Road Edition that I bought, mine was a 2022, and I paid $41,000 for it. and now those trucks are a lot higher. So, that's in my opinion, pretty big negative. I know the economy and everything's gone up in price, but it went up a little too fast, I think. So let's get to another plus. Plus on this is the ride quality. The Tacoma has needed this for a long time. The Tacoma's, it's always been an okay ride quality, but they've really stepped up their game for the ride quality. And I know some of the things they've taken away for off-roading has made the ride quality better. So, it's the game they're playing of trying to be a great off-road truck and drive it every day truck. So ride quality, at least, is a great improvement on the Toyota Tacoma, at least for the new ones. The seats are hugely, drastically better. I mean, just big better. That's all I can say about this. The seats were, I got 2022, and they tried their best to make it comfortable. It's still not comfortable. They're hard. They're just not, I'm 6'4", and it's just not designed for someone as big as me. Now the new ones, they finally are designed for a bigger person. So drastic improvement in the seats. So I'm going to go for a plus and a minus at the same time. The engine is a plus and minus. You get better gas mileage. You get a lot more torque. So when you're towing things, that engine is going to be great for towing. The transmission's better. Everything's better for the engine and the transmission for driving daily and towing a trailer. It's a great design. The bad thing about the engine is it's the first year of the new turbo design for this car, and this can have problems with tuning and making sure that the four-wheel drive, you're not having too much torque going to the wheels when your wheels are spinning and then you break something. So it's just the first year lessons learned of they got to figure out how to set this drivetrain up to the off-road equipment. So plus and minus on the engine. And we'll end it with a plus. So the generator, you can get a hybrid generator for this thing. And I know I said plus, but there's a little bit of minus to this too. The generator has 2,400 watts of power. So if you're going off-roading and you need to, power a coffee maker or power your air conditioner in your RV, you can do it. It has 2,400 watts of power, and you can power a lot of stuff with that. So it's like having a generator on the go all the time for your truck or your RV or whatever you need it for. Even if you're going to a construction site, you need power. So it's really nice for that. Bad thing is it's a gas sucking hog. It uses 3/4 gallon for running this generator per hour. So it's going to suck a lot of gas. So it's not, like a typical generator where you're going to be able to sip on gas. It's going to really start sucking down on that gas. So like I said, it's nice when you need, some power here and there when you're off site, or if you're going off road and you want to, run something, then, you can run an electric skillet out there, and it has some benefits, but the bad thing is it's going to be a gas hog. So just be ready for that. It's a benefit for the power though. So that's pretty much it. Like I said, the new Tacoma, it has some good, it's held some of the true old-fashioned rules of being able to go off-roading. It still has a locker in the rear you can get. It doesn't have a locker in the front. I think that's a bad thing, but, it is what it is. And, one more thing I wanted to mention, the sway bar disconnect. So I think this is actually a bad thing. And the reason why I say this is you're going to pay a ton of money for the sway bar disconnect. And from the reports I'm getting from it, you're not getting a huge advantage from this disconnect. The Bronco has, you can actually physically see the drop when it does the disconnect. The Tacoma isn't getting as much of a drop or, wheel travel from this. So the sway bar disconnect, I think, is not, something you need to buy. So that's really it. And like I said, the 2024 Tacoma, it has a lot of good stuff to it. It's kind of, in my opinion, and don't get me wrong, I am a diehard Toyota Tacoma guy. The Tacoma is very, very reliable. That's always going to be a plus to the Tacoma. But off-roading wise, I think in this case, you can get more money out of a Ford Raptor. And I know I'm going to get a ton of comments for this, but it's kind of true, you know, unless they change a couple things, which hopefully they will. The Raptor has, you know, some better off-road capabilities than the Toyota Tacoma. So hopefully they fix that. And like I said, I love my Tacoma, and you know, the core reason why we buy these is they're great off-road vehicles and they are very reliable. So I think Tacoma will shine on from this, but we'll see. You know, can't predict the future. So that's it. And you like what we're doing, please subscribe, because you all keep this channel alive and you all make it happen. So we'll see you next time.